All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our webinar Wednesday. So today's session, we are trying to promote how you can continuously build best-in-class remote recruiting strategy. So just checking if you guys are on the right webinar. So we are running 3 webinars for today. Earlier, before my session, Ange facilitated the extended workplace collaboration session. So I believe some of the guys earlier are also joining my 11 a.m. session. And then later, if you are also available at 2 o'clock, we are also running another topic which talks about how can you continuously develop your talent amidst this ongoing global pandemic. So again, this is our webinar Wednesday. So I will be your host for today. My name is Diane, and I am connected with the Talent View team managing the Talent Measurement Division under Talent View. So I noticed that there are some guys who are still trying to connect with our ON24 platform. So just ensuring in case at the middle of the session, you get disrupted or suddenly disconnection happen, you can also log in using mobile and you can access our platform perfectly through mobile, laptop, or PC. So wanted to orient you also of what's happening in front of you. So your current panel. So this is how it looks like right now. At the middle, you can see the slides. So this is where I will walk you through different strategies, different templates for virtual recruitment. So feel free to enlarge it if you want to increase the size or minimize it. There is also a portion wherein you can see me. So if you want to enlarge my video, that's up to you. But I think the message here, you can reorganize your panel depending on how it suits you. Also, resources list. There is a small panel there wherein we have uploaded some of the resources that you might be interested to look into later on. So feel free to download those. Don't worry, there's a question that is popping in my tab right now. All the resources, materials, copy of the slides, no need to screenshot, don't worry, will be provided to you by our Talent Leadership Academy team. So again, thank you, Win and Anna, for organizing this event. It's only important for us. At the middle is our Q&A, wherein you have in your mind, and I'll make sure to read them out loud to the group later on. Likewise, if you have any things that you want to share, aha moments or strategy that your organization is currently doing, feel free to also share that to the team, and I'll make sure to read them out loud later on. Lastly, but the most important, so because of this lockdown, we are really forced to conduct online trainings to continuously educate the market, our partners. So we would like to hear your thoughts also after the session. Feel free to rate us candidly. What do you think we can improve on? Do you think that we should just kidding. But feel free to rate us. And later, again, we will do a random raffle. Later, Win and Anna will be doing that, and we'll be sharing to you an e-copy of the book of our CEO, Ange, Rethink Recruitment, and at the same time, the book written by our Pallagen CEO, John Austin, Paradox of Hiring. So watch out for that. Make sure that you will rate us later on. Okay, so time check, 11:04, we should begin. So again, topic for today is building a best-in-class remote recruiting strategy. So if you're one of the organization who are already forward thinking, meaning you're already doing this, good job to you guys, but maybe think of it as a way also to improve your processes. Take whatever you can in this session and see how you can continuously improve your recruitment virtual strategy. But for those organizations who are still in the process of trying to build a virtual recruitment, again, this session might be really for you. Get as many information as you can, and hopefully it will help you and your team reinvent your current recruitment processes. To formally introduce the agenda, I believe you've seen this already via email, 3 topics that I want to walk you through today. First is, of course, how do we keep our recruiting funnel moving during these uncertain times? And later on, I'll be asking a poll question to everyone just to get a pulse of that your hiring processes somehow you have to freeze hire because of the organization we're in, you are still continuously hiring. And my next question to that is, how are you able to run it virtually? Next is, of course, how you can still humanize the entire experience. I know that it is really difficult to do face-to-face as of the moment, even probably after the lockdown. We might need to reinvent or rethink social distancing recommendation. We might have to really equip ourselves to protect ourselves also from this uncertain time. So how do you still communicate and the human touch? And last, of course, again, if you are implementing a remote recruiting strategy, how can you continuously improve it and to make it seamless for your candidate? Okay, so again, for those who have just joined, my name is Diane and I am the Talent Measurement Head of Talent View. My career really started doing assessment. Inside joke, I live and breathe assessment every day. Wherein my certifications span not only in the Philippines as a registered psychometrician, but I am also a certified assessor under the British Psychological Society and also under the Australian and New Zealand Psychological Society. And I hope that I'll be able to share with you some of the experience that I have handled in the past. So for those guys who we are working with currently, hello, welcome to our session. So you know who we are, Talent View. But for those who are seeing us first time, we are Talent View and we've been operational for more than 8 years already. And what we do is really to help organization build their employer brand. That is through strategy, design, and technology. And as you know, we are also the official partner in Asia Pacific for Workplace by Facebook, your collaboration online tool, Talagent competency-based assessment, which is our competency-based platform, Digimind and Hootsuite, which is our social media management platform, and we also have Meet and Engage and applicant tracking system under Phoenix ATS. So later on, there's also an icon just in case you guys are also interested to understand more about can connect the session. I am so proud to say that in today's session, we are represented by 3 countries, Philippines, Malaysia, and Vietnam. So hello guys, how are you all doing? I hope that everyone is safe and healthy. And hopefully this pandemic really ends soon, because I just like you guys, I want to go back to the office, see my colleagues, and again, rework on the strategies to help, again, employers, organization build their brand. And we do that through different markets at this point. Okay, so just a quick poll question. Is your company hiring today? So you can answer it through the following options. Yes, we are continuously hiring. No, we are freeze hiring until this enhanced community quarantine ends. So this is the lockdown that we are experiencing. And then third is that, or you're not hiring at all, maybe because you guys have a really good retention rate. So at this point, you're not replacing any talent. So I'll give you about a minute to answer, and then we'll see the pulse of the team in the next slide. Okay, are you guys done? So again, for those who have just joined, is your company currently hiring today? Yes, we are continuously hiring. No, you guys are actually on a freeze hiring because of the pandemic. And last, because retention is really good, you guys are not hiring at all at some point. So let's see the results. Oh, wow. 50% are continuously hiring. That's good. So 50% in the class right now is still trying to hit your hiring or your recruitment targets. That's good. Almost 40% is actually on a freeze hiring. I think at some point it's really on a 50-50. And then there's 10% in the class right now, which is not hiring at all. That's a good rating. And why I wanted to understand this, because again, since we are also in a research organization, I believe this also resonates to what our partners, our clients are doing at this point. For those who are continuously hiring, the strategy is that how can they continuously improve and make the process seamless for both the recruiter and at the same time for the candidate. For those who are currently on a freeze hiring right now, maybe most of your efforts will continue after this pandemic. And for those who are not hiring at all, probably one scenario, as I've mentioned earlier, your retention rate is good, no one is resigning, so not at this point. Maybe your recruitment team is in the process of doing much more strategic role in the organization, which is also good. So I wanted to begin first before my before the framework that I will be sharing with you guys with some statistics, because based on how we are experiencing all of this challenges, if I may say, the digital transformation, as we say, the social media and digital transformation should have happened 3 or 5 years ago. So again, if you will look at the statistics, this is as of January 2020. We don't have yet the most recent one, but I hope this also resonates to you guys. In Asia Pacific alone, our combined population size right now is at 4.3 billion. But if you will look at the internet usage as of January 2020, by the way, this data came from We Are Social and Hootsuite, which is also our partner. 56% are actually using the internet right now. May it be work-related or personal-related, take note, 56% are actually using internet at this point. Maybe 10 to 15% increase because of the lockdown. We are all forced to work remotely, and we are all forced to face our laptop on an everyday basis. So this figure might have increased as of the moment. But out of that 2.42 billion, 2.14 billion or 50% is actually active in social media right now. May it be Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, name it. So 50 to 56%. So why do I say this? If your organization, whether you are a B2C or business to consumer or B2B, business to business type, a key takeaway here is that 56% or even more target market is actually online and using social media as a platform. So if I will apply this, if I am a marketer, I might be doing offline initiatives, 40%, newspaper ads, etc., and 60%, 56 to 60% doing digital strategy to reach my target audience. So if I am a recruiter also, maybe 60-40 would be healthy to make sure that I am still reaching the audience that I want. Since again, we are represented by 3 countries here, I was able to gather 3 data for Philippines, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Take note, the 56% that I have mentioned, 2.42 billion population in the Philippines alone, they are spending almost 9 hours every day using the internet. So I'm not sure what they're doing, may it be work or personal, so 9 hours every day. What about Malaysia? I believe a little bit, I hope you can see my slide, but I think this is around 7 hours in a day, not too far from the Philippines, while Vietnam spent around 6 hours and 30 minutes on an average daily basis, spending their time in a day doing whatever stuff that they are at this point. So that is average time spent in the internet. What about, Diane? Key question here. I'm seeing a question. What about social media? Good thing I'm able to pull through a stat also for you. Daily time spent using social media. So imagine if you are from the Philippines, out of the 9 hours spent, I believe, help me read this slide. I think more than half, 4 hours, is actually spent using social media. So I wonder what is our statistic at this point, because again, this data was gathered January of 2020, early part of this year, or even before the pandemic really started shifting the work remotely at this point. For Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm reading my stats correctly, 2 hours, 3 hours. While for Vietnam, almost same with the industry or worldwide population. So again, I believe key takeaway here, if you are in the business of B2B or B2C, remember that more than 50% of the population is actually online and using social media right now. So if you want to promote your brand, your product, your services, or if you want to promote your job openings, I believe this is really not a this is really a best practice rather right now to do that through digital or social media marketing. And one case study that I want to share with you at this point is that job application for one of the Fortune 500 partners that we also have increased by 74% for entry-level position. So meaning when they started to post their job openings online for entry level, there is a huge increase from 25 to 74% increase using social media and internet strategy. Advertising and promotion increased by 200% higher click rate. So again, if you have a background in marketing, click rate is also important because it leads them to, for example, to your website or to your career site, which is important way or strategy to continuously communicate your job openings or your products and services to your market out there. And when it comes to engagement, more than 5,500 conversation generated in chatbots. So what are chatbots? Later on, I'll give you also a walkthrough on that. So if you are an organization that processes thousands, hundreds of candidates on a daily basis, whether they are active or passive candidates, how do you engage them? How do you continuously communicate with them? With all of them, if I may say. So chatbot can be a way or a strategy for you to automate some of your engagement activity. So again, some inputs that you may want to reflect on if you are whether online or offline. I think the beauty of here is that we're not saying you should take away all the offline channels. We are just saying you have to have a healthy mix of your online and offline strategy. So with that, I also want to share with you our recruitment, virtual recruitment program. So it works like a funnel, a recruitment funnel, if I may say. And if you will see here, we try to reinvent it in a 4-stage process. Of course, attraction and sourcing should be there. Are you doing creative contents? Are you using videos to attract talents? As they say, videos are the in thing right now. So are you making use of your recorded strategy to attract more talents to promote your brand? Are you using microsite, career site, Facebook careers, etc., LinkedIn careers to also promote the job openings? Then you do, of course, your CV reviews once you're able to source from these channels and then invite them for the first round of screening. Then you move on to the next stage, which is screening and measurement. So first of all, are you targeting the right profile? Are you looking at the right competencies too? So if you are in the organization, BPO or contact center, wherein English and communication is really critical, are you saying that when you source for those talents, you convert them second round? Somehow 50% of them are already qualified. And then once you're able to do that, you go for selection. Are you doing what we call the virtual assessment center? So meaning combining different assessment strategy to really identify best of the best talent. So you not only conduct interviews virtually, but you also do live simulations such as presentation, group exercises. You can actually do that even if you're not seeing them face to face. So I'll give you some strategies also later on. And then last would be hiring and virtual onboarding. So again, do you wait until the pandemic ends or you're doing virtual onboarding at this point? May it be via MS Teams, Google Hangout, Google Meet, or Zoom meeting. You can actually use a lot of technology right now to conduct virtual onboarding. So these are the 4 frameworks that I will be walking you through later on. So let's start off with the very basic one, how to continuously attract and source for your target market. So again, for those that are hiring at this point, what are the critical roles that you need to prioritize? So mainly because they drive the business, or they are the, in your Pareto analysis, 80% are actually coming from these roles in your organization, may it be sales, customer support. Those are some of the critical roles. So what are those? Feel free to identify that. Which competencies or criteria are you looking for? So we recommend at least work between 5 to 7 competencies if you are doing virtual recruitment strategy, because at the end of the day, as much as you want to measure more than 20 competencies out there, it might also be difficult for you to do that virtually. So we recommend working between 5 to 7 critical make or break competencies. So meaning you cannot really not have them at this point. And again, what are your sourcing strategy? I know for big organization, much more forward thinking organization, you're doing a lot of ads, job board posting, social media ads boosting, etc. And for those that are not yet doing it, probably you're exploring the use of applicant tracking system to automate the process of collecting resumes and being able to sift through if they say that they have an experience in telemarketing or affiliate marketing, social media marketing, etc., they will proceed to the next round of screening. So whatever that you guys are doing, I'd also like to hear from you. Just comment on the comment section below. Probably if I missed out anything, feel free to add so that I can share it to the team. So, but much more critical during the stage 1 is to create your competency and assessment matrix. So meaning, just like what I have said earlier, start first by identifying what are the common competencies or critical competencies for the role that you are processing them for. Is it communication, presentation? Is it being results driven, customer focus, or collaboration? And then from there, build your assessment strategy. For this set of competencies, I will be assessing them through online assessment. For the next round, I will be assessing them through video interview. And for the succeeding rounds, I will be inviting the line managers to join the recruiter to do panel interview or group presentation. So if you have top 3 candidates already in mind, you can probably give them a case that they can work on together virtually, and then see how they will go, how they will collaborate, who among your top 3 to 5 candidates would really facilitate that group discussion. So that way, you are still able to measure as many competencies as you can during the process. So documenting this matrix also will help future recruiters in your organization so that you document it and they know what will happen next in every stage of the way. So again, my recommendation, create a sample competency and assessment matrix. Next is that I talked about earlier about recruitment bot. So for those that is already doing recruitment bot, it is a one way for you to automate and lead your candidates to the right platform or right career website. So you automate that by integrating it with your career site or Facebook Messenger. So for example, I am a candidate, I'm a passive candidate, I am just looking around and I stumble upon company ABC. And when I click on careers, there is an automated email that will greet me. Hello, how are you? I hope you are doing well. We have some job openings here that you might be interested to look into. And then the next round of interview, and when I as a candidate, I will just type in, okay, I'm looking for a customer service agent role. And then the next thing that will pop into my platform would be all positions that would have, that are tagged rather as a customer agent role. So this way you are also automating your communication platform to your target audience. So that being said, if your goal is to redirect them to your career site, you can actually do that without having a person the entire day or 24/7 standing and replying to all commands, so, or to all messages. So you can actually automate that through recruitment bot. So if you guys are doing this, feel free to, again, comment here and let me know if you're already using any chatbot installed in your messenger or your career site. Social ads and boosting. So again, as I have said earlier, 56% of your target market is actually online and using social media right now. So are you promoting your brand, whether you are hiring or not hiring? For those who are not hiring, it might be a good opportunity to promote whatever you are doing right now to prevent or to minimize the spread of this pandemic. Or if you are in the process of inviting them to future career fairs, etc. This is a good way also to do your job postings online, because as we said, 56% of your target market is actually online right now. So one way for you to do that is through social ads and boosting. I believe there's a way to do this also, wherein you have to pay either Google or Facebook a certain amount so that your ads will be repeatedly being seen by your target audience. So back end, you can actually do that. So again, conversion is a key. So if you are targeting by Q3 or Q4, you have around 30 new agents in the for a certain department, because your group is actually expanding at this point. So how are you able to reach the 30 converted talent? So again, social ads and boosting is another strategy to do to incorporate in your current processes, apart from your job postings and career boards or job boards partnership. Okay. Then we move on to the second stage. So if you don't have any questions, I'll move on to the second stage, which is your screening and measurement. So later on, I'll be sharing with you what LinkedIn has published early first quarter of this year when it comes to the skills and hard and soft skills that you should be looking for talents right now. So you may probably, this probably might resonate with you or probably not. Again, feel free to take whatever you can in this session. How do you continuously measure these top competencies? And again, how do you ensure that at the very top of the funnel, you are already targeting the right candidates, right? So making sure that when they go to the second or third round of screening and selection, they're already close match to the profile that you are looking for. So let's begin first. Most in-demand soft skills according to LinkedIn, and how, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, LinkedIn also offers online trainings for these competencies for free during this pandemic. One is creativity. So generate and implement new and innovative solutions, ideas in solving problems. So creativity is one. Next is persuasion. So may it be you're in the organization that sales and marketing is critical. So persuasion and negotiation is tagged also as an in-demand soft skills. Third one is collaboration or teamwork. So is this person able to collaborate one-to-one or one is too many? So you have to look into if collaboration is also critical for you. Fourth one is adaptability, resilience, flexibility. So being agile as a talent. So today I'll be working on this task, but probably after a month, I am given a new task, how flexible or how adaptable I am to be able to work on that initiative. So that's your fourth. And the fifth one is emotional quotient. So what I like about this soft skills set, if you will look at it, if you know the framework of the 3H, head, heart, and hand, your head is your creativity, your hand is your probably persuasion and collaboration, and then your heart is your emotional quotient and adaptability. It covers your 3H. So if, again, you're hiring, make sure or reflect on it if these are the competencies also that is relevant for your organization. Now we move on to competencies that are technical in nature. So I believe most of the competencies here tagged by LinkedIn would work in industries or companies that are highly tech-driven, or in the industry wherein innovation like the likes of Apple, Samsung, Amazon Web Services, etc., would have these key competencies. But if you are also hiring for this set of competencies, meaning probably your IT or digital team is trying to create your own tools or automations, so these are the skills for you. You talk about scientific computing, making use of different programming language such as Python or MATLAB. Cloud computing using Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services. Analytical reasoning, I think this is still a highly needed competencies regardless of role and industry, because it talks about being able to make use and uncovering insights to solve different problems. AI or artificial intelligence, wherein people or candidates who have the ability to harness the power of AI, machine learning, and natural language processing to automate something or to read something. And on our end, since I'm managing Talegent, we are also venturing into what we call AI video interviewing. If I look to my left or look to my right, is that an intention or a behavior that talks about something else? So we are also trying to figure out how AI can actually help video interviewing in the future. Blockchain also, the ability, Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, for organization that uses data to work with different data and making sure that they integrate it into one language. UX design, so meaning interface design. How are you making your career site much more interactive or much more engaging, attractive for your candidates? Affiliate marketing and sales. So the difference with affiliate marketing and sales is that it's no longer the traditional marketing wherein we just look at offline marketing initiatives or offline sales initiatives, but here you tap into influencers in social media. How can you digitalize or make use of social media as a strategy to promote your brand, to promote the job posting? So again, if you're in the organization looking for this kind of role, marketing and sales has been evolving for quite some time. And lastly, business analytics. So being able to integrate all of this data in one platform. So all of these competencies may be applicable for you or not. Just wanted to let you know that here at TalentView, we also have assessment tools to measure both hard skills and soft skills, starting off with IT, finance, hospitality, manufacturing. So whatever industry you are right now, hopefully we can actually help you. And we do that through purely automation. So we wanted to ensure that with your virtual recruitment, how are you able to keep up, or how are you able to automate the process of screening and selecting candidates? That is through your online assessment strategy. And if you want to take a little bit further your assessment reporting, we can map out your key competencies with that of our assessment tools and see if we can really help you assess the things that you are looking for your candidate. And when it comes to reports, again, these are all available online. You can download it real time. When you talk about virtual interviews, you can actually do that also through our platform, wherein you just type in your questions and let your candidate respond to it virtually. So no need for you to be physically there. You just throw in the questions and let your candidate respond. Later on, you can review it, submit it to your hiring manager or to the line manager requiring to review that talent without, again, having to gather everyone in one room. So again, that's one strategy. If you're using online assessment right now, that's actually good. According to research, Fortune 500 organization right now at 98% are all using competency-based assessment in their screening and selection. Now let's move forward to my third part of the funnel. We're in selection through virtual assessment center. So you not only incorporate, as I've mentioned, assessment and also online interview, but you have to be able to make sure that you are using the right strategy for your assessment or for your virtual recruitment. And let me share with you a statistics that we are able to gather online, wherein it talks about the selection procedure and reliability. Age has a very weak reliability. So meaning, if it's closer to 1, that's 100%. There's no 100% tool that can really predict at this point that this person is the best of the best, but rather you will combine different strategies so that you are able to really measure the true strength of your candidate. So by the way, guys, you don't look at age right now, and even years of experience. If you will look at my data at this point, it has a weak correlation when it comes to performance. If you are looking at graphology, it is also weak in a way. You don't look at the stars, or you don't look at the palm or the hand of your candidate to predict if they are really good or they will be future performers in the organization. That has a total weak comparison when you talk about reliability of your strategy. But if you combine different methodologies such as cognitive assessment, personality, you give them judgment or situational judgment tests. These are your live simulation through cases, etc. You actually increase your reliability to 30 to 65%. So meaning you're closer to hitting the right number. So why do I say this? Because my key takeaway here is that you don't only rely on one part of the puzzle, but rather you try to reinvent and put together as many strategies as you can, whether offline or online, so that you can get or gauge and measure the competencies of your talents. And that being said, when you hire them, there is less time spent when it comes to training them. There is a higher predictive power when it comes to retaining your talents also. Because again, if we hire the right person for the right role at the very beginning, it is less headache at the end of the day for us recruiters, for us talent acquisition. In TalentView, so how do we do our virtual assessment center? So just like you guys, 50% of the population said earlier that you guys are still hiring here at TalentView. We are also hiring, and we have to be able to ensure that we are not only relying on one part, but we are also really going deep into the competencies that we want to measure. So an example that we are using right now is that if you are using Google Hangouts or WebEx or whatever video interview phase, remember that you can share some of your slides in through your audience. If you have a case study that you want your top 3 or top 5 guys, that you want them to see how they will collaborate, who will stand out among your shortlisted candidates, you can actually do that through video conferencing modules. So probably your recruiter can stand as the moderator. You have your assessors or your line managers at the background, listening and watching the candidates while they are working on a case. And maybe you can even gamify it. You can add a stop time. You're only given 20 minutes to read the case and another 20 minutes to work together as a team. So you guys can actually do this. You don't need to pull them and ask the participants to be here. You can actually do virtual assessment center online too. And make sure that when you are down to the last stretch of your or last activities, you conduct a behavioral event interviewing technique. I know some of us is really focused on the technical requirements. Do they have the C++ capability, or are they users of Python or other tech tools or application in the past? Apart from looking at the technical skills, look also into the competencies that will predict performance at the workplace. And for you to uncover that, use the STAR methodology or the targeted selection methodology. As for the past behavior, let them cite examples, whether if they develop an application, how are they able to do that? If you ask the right questions during your validation interview, you can get as many information for your talent. And again, it will complement the technical skills or technical questions that you are able to uncover at the first round of assessment. Okay, so I promise that we will end in the next 5 minutes. So 38 minutes on my clock at this point. We are on the last stage, which is the hiring and virtual onboarding. So meaning whatever strategy are you doing right now to do background check, if you're doing phone calls, reference check, continue to do that. Medical check, Diane, how do we do that? I believe there are still hospital or clinics, small clinics, that they can go into. Probably this clinic, you just have to make sure that they are not that they are accredited in your organization, and at the same time, this small clinics doesn't entertain or people with potential COVID symptoms. That way, you're also protecting your candidates. If medical or health check is also critically important for you, you do your offer and hire. Again, whatever tools you're using right now, I've even heard of contracts being signed online at this point, and there is a data management system that stores it inside your cloud provider. And then last, of course, is virtually introducing that new hire to the team and conducting, may it be a virtual team call or onboarding, sending onboarding files online using different cloud drives, etc. Feel free to reinvent your process when it comes to onboarding your talents. So just wanted to have, again, a recap by asking everyone at this point. So given the different strategies that I have mentioned earlier, what are your key strengths in hiring? Is it A, sourcing? You're really good at converting passive candidates or active candidates to your job portals? Or is it in the assessment? This is one of your key strengths. You're so good at this already. Is it in the interview or hiring, or even on the onboarding part? So what are your key strengths at this point, guys? And we'll see the results later on. Okay, so you guys are ready? Let's see how it will go. Okay, so wow, that's 50% is actually saying you're really good at sourcing strategy. So guys, feel free to share also. Comment below, what are your key sourcing strategy at this point? What are you using that we have not mentioned in this session, so that I can also share it to the team right now? 50% also mentioned that assessment. You're also good at assessing candidates. That's actually perfect as well. So for those who have not answered interview, hiring, onboarding at this point, this can be an area of development. So again, continuously improve the process of interviewing candidates virtually, making sure that when you invite them for maybe Zoom or Google Hangouts, etc., they're also equipped ahead of time. I think the only challenge that we need to solve at this point is the stability of our internet connection, regardless of country we are in right now. So if the internet is not functioning well, then this virtual assessment will not really happen at all. So have that leeway still. If the internet gets disrupted, probably rescheduling is an option, or other strategies that you think will help you still push through with the application of the candidate. Okay, so key points to wrap up everything that we have mentioned. Again, first thing, great candidate experience is about having an engaging process wherein candidates feel valued and that the recruiters are engaging in the application process. So again, make sure if you're doing it virtually or even after the lockdown, if you plan to do virtual recruitment, make it as engaging as possible. Remember your brand promise. So if you say that you will process their application within the day or within 7 working days, make sure that they are able to feel the same way or experience the same way. Attract and engage candidates with your employer branding, because again, this is another way to screen candidates. So if your profile, your organizational profile is that you love collaboration, you love interacting, cross-functional team projects, and if that candidate already knows in himself that hey, I'm really an individual contributor, I don't like working with another group, that's a way for you to filter candidate. Whatever your brand is internally, whatever is happening back end, cascade it outside, so that it makes you, it also gives you another filtering tool when it comes to getting the right talents onboarded. Invest time in reviewing and enhancing your application process. So how is it being done? As feedback, which brings me to my fourth point. Make sure that every stage of the way, maybe you're doing a 6-process approach or a 5-process approach, you get feedback by asking questions on how you can improve the process. And in fact, I'm also asking you guys later on, please, before you go, give us feedback so that we know how we can improve our succeeding webinars. And lastly, performance, predicting performance by measuring core capabilities and competencies of your candidate. So even if you have a good technology, if you don't have the right strategy or even the competencies that you want to measure for your talents, it will be difficult to deploy a virtual successful recruitment process for your team. So I open now the floor to any questions, or probably I'll wait for about 1 to 2 minutes. Any concerns or aha moments that you want to share to the group? While I am waiting for that, some final notes. While you're thinking of some questions that you may have. So again, all the resources, webinar recording, and presentation slides will be forwarded to you by our Talent and Leadership Academy team, who are able to put this webinar together. So again, thank you, Win and Anna. And also, if you have, if you feel that you want to download any of the advanced resources materials, you can see it in your panel. So again, 1 click away, you're able to download those information. And last, before I leave you guys, please, please, please rate us. I believe there are just 3 to 4 questions out there. And as a way to say thank you also, we are giving you a copy of our The Paradox of Hiring, written by our by John Austin, CEO of Talagent. So here you will see how you can progress your recruitment and talent management assessment strategy. How can you make it much more effective and efficient? So once you're able to fill out that survey, we will also give you an e-copy of the book of John. Okay, so questions? I'll wait for about a minute or two to hear anyone in the group right now. If you also would like to connect with me, you can just screenshot my my QR code here, and I'll be glad to connect via LinkedIn with you guys. Okay. And some of the information here, get in touch with us, talentview.asia, visit our website, email learning@talentview.asia. We are running another topic this afternoon at 2 p.m. when it comes to developing your talents. The next following week, we are again running our webinar Wednesday, so feel free to join. Watch out for our upcoming topics that we feel relevant also as we try to work remotely all together. And if you have any questions, like our Talent View Incorporated via LinkedIn. I believe there's one coming from Tech Tierra. So this is a great book. I have already a lot from, oh, you've read already probably the book. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your comment. There is a question from the group. How fast can we reframe our recruitment funnel? So again, I think at this point, when it comes to reinventing your recruitment funnel, I know you guys are already doing this. It's really a matter of just putting it in documenting all the stages and identifying, is this working or is this not working? So first, make an audit of your current screening and selection strategy. Put it down in an Excel file and create a checklist. Send it to the team. If you're not seeing each other at this point, create a working or live documentation wherein your recruitment team can actually comment to it and identify what are your potential obstacles or roadblocks. Is this strategy currently working for us? Yes or no? Is this working for us? Yes or no? So if you are able to identify those processes first and reinvent them. I guess in terms of how fast, it really depends on your current resources at this point and how fast your leaders can actually approve the revised process. And you are not only limited with just one recruitment funnel. So remember, I know you guys are hiring for multiple roles. Maybe you can create different recruitment funnels for different roles. So probably if you're hiring much more tenured position, they don't need to go through a 10 process or stages. Maybe you can just select 4 to 5 stages for them because they might be skipping some of the critical or some processes that are not relevant for much more tenured role. But for those that are entry level, since they don't really have any background at all, maybe you need to have a stretch recruitment funnel for them. So I believe in terms of timing, it really depends on how soon you can actually deploy it again. Thank you so much, guys. I believe we don't have any more question at this point, but thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for completing the webinar with us. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.